Howdy, folks. Hey, folks. Good to be here. Anyway, yeah, let's round it out. We went knocking through a bunch of these, and we're going to finish it off a little lighter, a little more raucous. And let's see. This song was written by Bob Dylan, 1965, on Bringing It All Back Home. And it's based on an electric blues. Obviously, at that time he started, getting a little crazy with electrics. Kind of jumped off the acoustic train there. It was described by Bill Wyman as a loping, laconic look at the service industry and a counterculture war cry. So, this is one of my initial introduction to Bob's. This is one of my favorite tunes, just because it had great lyrics mixed with very serious in the culture, but also it was just really funny. He's really had a way of writing humor into his music. But we're gonna do another version of this song, and the name of the song is Maggie's Farm. And we are gonna do a version. We're gonna stay rounded out with a nice little another soul version as bookends, and one by Soloman Burke. This one was recorded in 1965. Again, the soul people, they'd jump on within the year, within a couple months, they'd have it down and get it out on record. They didn't wait too long. So this was Soloman Burke, released May 12th, 1965. Had Bobby Emmons, electric piano, Bobby Wood on organ and piano, Gene Chrisman on drums, Reggie Young guitar, Tommy Cogbill on bass guitar, produced by Tom Dowd, which we all know is big producer, engineer, and written by Bob Dylan, performed by Soloman Burke. Here we go.
I ain't gonna work on Maggie's farm no more. No, I ain't gonna work on Maggie's farm no more. Well, I wake up in the morning, fold my hands and pray for rain. Got a head full of ideas that's driving me insane. It's a shame the way she makes me scrub those floors. You see, I ain't gonna work on Maggie's farm no more. I ain't gonna work for Maggie's farm no more. No, I ain't gonna work for Maggie's farm no more. Well, he puts his cigars out in your face for kicks. His bedroom windows are all made out of bricks. The sheriff and the National Guard stand around his doors. Let me tell you, I ain't gonna work for Maggie's farm no more. Well, I try my best to be just like I am, but everybody wants me to be just like them. They sing while I slave and I get bored. You see, I ain't gonna work on Maggie's farm no more. You better believe ain't gonna do nothing, yeah. You see,
That was just straight up fun. Yeah, hearing Soloman Burke and the band. This is 65, and I have my own personal feelings about how the horns started to dominate, in a lot of music in the 60s. It's like, I don't know who started it. It's like, once they put it in it's always, I mean, obviously in R&B, jazz, obviously the horns was a mainstay. It was the voice. The brass section was the voice of not as much orchestral, but definitely like, big band. And then R&B, it seemed to make a real good fit. But once it jumped into pop music, and then even, going into even classic rock, it started to, because producers, engineers just like demanded, well, we have to have it. We got to keep up everything. Everything's got horns these days, I can just imagine artists sitting there like, yeah, do we have to do this every time? We have to have these, these like cookie cutter horn sounds, horn breaks. But yeah, for me personally, sometimes they just don't fit. They just don't fit the tone. Here they sound really good. There was a part where it went into the horn break, and then it was like, it sounded like, I don't know exactly, but to me it was like it went into that feel of like, Nancy Sinatra, these boots are made for walking. Kind of had that feel, and I was like, nope, can't accept that. Not in this tune. Not going to do a version of that in Bob Dylan. Sorry. So it's one of those things, it's similar to like the vocals, how they started putting all the sort of choral groups into like Ray Charles, which I don't know. He may thought of up. He may have said, yeah, let's do that. But to me, I just feel like it's a forced, there's a lot of things that get forced into these music based on the trends of the time, based on the other things and marketability and all that stuff. And just engineers who just said, had this vision of like self-appointed vision of this is where things are going. And obviously things don't stay the same. Things change. So it had its period. But for me, yeah, when I hear horns overdone in songs, it just reminds me of that. But I was not around at the time, so I'm just talking out of my you-know-what. Anyway, that was Soloman Burke. And this has been... I had once... I don't know what this is. I don't have the artist next to this song, but I had one backup song on here. Maybe we can hear a snippet of it. Because it's not a song, one of his big songs. Father Night. It was on, what was the name of that? It's not Self-Portrait. It was the one before that. It was with Sign on the Window and The Man in Me. Can't remember the name of that album. Anyway, it's a cool album, though. I love it. So when he really started digging on the piano a little bit more. Got away from the guitar. Anyway, but this has been Dylan Covers. We're going to do this again, maybe another few weeks. We're going to do a volume 2. Great Dylan covers. And anyway, if you have some great ones, I'd love to hear them. If I haven't heard them before, I'll definitely do a listen. And and like I said, anything anybody has an idea, they really want to hear something, they want to hear a good reaction to something new, I'm totally down for that. And anyway, at that, I will say see you later, and see you on the flip side on the next go around.